This is Stan once again, and it is the first weekend of the summer. And today I'd just like to talk to you about speaking life, because your words can change someone's world. Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan, the radio man, and this is Friday, June the 5th, 2026. Tomorrow is June the 6th. And of course, that has some historical reminders. It has a lot of them for me. This is what we call D-Day. This is the day in 1944 when the United States and their allies invaded the beaches of France in order to start pushing back the Nazi regime and thereby hopefully win and bring an end to the terrible Second World War. And it took place on June the 6th. And of course, right now, there is a very, I'm told, because actually there was a film about it done many, many years ago, but now it's somewhat updated and with obviously new stories involved. A new film about June the 6th, which I think perhaps this weekend I'll make an effort to try and see, because I've always been somewhat of a historian about that. And as you see, we have decided that we're going to bring in another feature in the work we do. There we are, the golden microphone. And we're going to be what we call in the business of just from time to time, let's speak life. Think about that. What does that mean? Now, a lot of people speak death. A lot of people speak discouragement. A lot of people speak evil. A lot of people speak stupidity. What would it mean if we would decide that for the most part in our life, we were going to be people, a person, who we speak life? Not just talk life, speak it, not just read about it, not just write about it, but we're going to speak life. And it's because your words can truly change someone's world. That came to me. It just came to me. I was doing some work in my AI format, and that term just popped up. Stan, you speak life. Oh, really? And so I decided maybe that was a word from AI and maybe a word from the spirits, that from time to time we ought to encourage people just to speak life, and do so because our words can change someone's world. Part of the reason that D-Day is familiar to me is I went there. You see this rock here? The camera doesn't want to, boom, there it is. How about that? It looks like magic, right? It goes and comes, yeah. This rock I found on Omaha Beach on the day in which my wife and I went to the Normandy beach in France during our time in Europe. And we spent the day going through the beach, and I picked up the rock, and just said, I'm going to keep this for the rest of my life to remind me of D-Day. And it sits right in my office wherever I go. And part of the reason it's relative is that we also, of course, not only did we walk the shores of Normandy, and by the way, I recently saw a picture that was taken, a color picture that was taken from above that was done shortly after the invasion began. I hadn't seen it before, but I'm told it was true, is that in the beach, as they were making their way there, that a good part of the beach was red. The Germans had developed a very lethal machine gun, and it took down many of them before they even reached the beach. And then, of course, you had to get across the beach. And then from the beach, you had to climb the walls. and then you had to fight. Um, Thousands died. Now, the thing that has struck me more and more is that one of my good friends was not, as he would say, I was not in the first wave. I was not there on the day, but I was there afterwards. Eventually, he became one of the people who fought through the Battle of the Bulge and all that. Was a tank driver. His name was George, just a young boy when he was drafted and put into the army, fought under Patton's army. He said Patton even met me and swore at me one time. um, and he said afterwards, as he goes back, and he was then invited back because finally he began to talk about it with my encouragement. He didn't want to talk about the war for years and years and years. He was a teacher up in Hibbing, Minnesota, and he didn't really want to talk about the war. But as a history teacher, I finally encouraged him to speak it, that this would be a way of speaking a little bit of life into it. And so I got him to tell the story, and eventually he said, okay, maybe I can talk about it. And he talked about it, and eventually he was invited back by the people in Belgium because they wanted to actually celebrate somebody who had actually helped to liberate them. Later on, he was inspirational for a movie called Fury, which was a story of a tank driver, and it was very much based on his life. George Smilanich, cousin to my wife Karen from Hibbing, Minnesota. But he said the thing that got him, and it really struck me too. Here I am, 70. I've made it by a goodly amount. And the point was, when you walked among the cemeteries, you realize these were young men mostly. Of course, there were ladies later, and in some situations, but they had never lived. They never had a life. They didn't have a life. They were born, they grew up, and they died without a life for the most part. And just that realization all the time has made me extremely grateful, and why I just, I sit and say how fortunate I am, even though I have so many things like you do in your life, to realize that the thousands, the hundreds of thousands who died. We think of Memorial Day, and then here we are on D-Day, who never had a life. Didn't have one. Didn't get to get married. Didn't get to have children. Didn't get to have a career. Didn't have the chance to go to school. They just died. And their life was over. So whenever we can, I think that's important that we learn to speak life. And I don't know where this is leading me right now. I don't even know if we should have a program about this. By the way, our programs continue. In effect, Inconvenient Ideas. I'm hoping that a number of you will be inconvenient to tell us a little bit about some inconvenient ideas that might be good. We're going to go into the transformation zone and learn how to transform our own lives and help others do the same. The Jesus Entrepreneur is now been changed from the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. It is now the Jesus Entrepreneur Collective. And that word is a significant change. In today's world, we're not going to have companies as much. We're not going to have organizations as such. But the people who are going to make a difference are primarily going to be involved in what we call collectives. And what we're going to do is we're going to form the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and we're going to invite you to be a part of and enjoy the benefits. It will be very beneficial because it will all be about living and speaking life. That's what we're going to do. speak life. You know, Jesus said he was the life, and he was speaking life. He said he was here that you might have life, and that it would be good. It would be overflowing. He was in the speak life business. And that's the business that all of us should be involved in. So I'm just going to simply encourage us. This is short and simple. I've got a lot of things to produce the rest of the week, and I'll be being in touch with a number of you personally who may see this program, because perhaps you've got some things you'd like to do to speak life, to help someone change their world, maybe transform their world, maybe even be transfigured in how they view their world. There we are. I'm done on Friday. Tomorrow, take some time to think and pray and thank God for the wonderful men and some women, but mostly young men. That's what, and not just men. Most of them were young men, very young men. Some of them were still boys, and who lost their life to be, so that you and I was born shortly after D-Day, and I got to live. All the best and blessings to us all. Let's remember to speak life and give thanks for the many life blessings that we have, and that we should share them with others. I'm Stan Houston for a lot of different radio programs, and we'd like to get you on the radio so that you could speak life, speak truth, speak wisdom, speak encouragement, speak fun, and speak those things that help people live better. That's simple. We're all in the business of helping people flourish, and to flourish means to live better and to do better and to treat other people and help them in such a way that they can live better. I'm done. Thank you very much. Till next time, I'm Stan. Bye for now.